Yay, you're warming up for handstands. We're gonna start with open chain movement in the hands. This is feed the baby, talk to the hand. You're strumming your fingers towards your face, using one finger at a time, moving your wrists maximally. Pinky first. Reverse direction, pet the kitty and throw the frisbee. Thumb first towards your face, thumb first away from your face. One finger at a time, hopefully doing a better job than me, but moving your fingers and wrists maximally. Now we're just going to close the fists and circle. Even better if you can squeeze your arms up by your ears and lift the shoulder blades as if you were in handstand position. Really keep reaching up through the shoulder blades, wrap the armpits forward, keep your elbows straight, and don't forget to breathe. Keep those arms lifted. Close your fists, squeeze them, and explode your hands. When you explode your hands, try to fold the hands backwards as if you were doing a handstand on the ceiling. It's helpful to do this in a mirror, which I'm doing here, and I'm watching that my hands don't always go where I want them to. Check yourself. Shoulder circles are self-explanatory. It's really tempting to really bend the elbows as you circle backward. Try and keep your triceps engaged. It's a good opportunity to move your head around and start loosening up the neck as well. Listen for any crunches and pops. And don't forget to breathe again. Moving on, we're next going to wring out the shoulders. So for this one, you want to have a spiral start from the hands that goes all the way into the shoulder blade. So your palm turns one direction, the other palm turns the other direction, and that twist rides all the way up into the blade. Try and keep your hands at the same level, and really think about reaching those arms wide. We're gonna add a little finger progression. On the arm that's internally rotate, you wanna make sure that you're making the A-OK sign. And the externally rotating arm, you're gonna squeeze your fourth and fifth finger together. This helps engage both the front and back lines respectively. Now, we're gonna go for the candle dance. I like to do this in kneeling or standing. I'm not gonna try and describe this movement because it's really complicated. Basically though, the cue that I like to do with my movement is slice across the front, the back, swing over the head and around to the side. Across the front, the back, over the head, around the side. The entire time you're imagining you're holding a candle or a glass of water in your palm and you don't want to spill the fire or spill the water out of the hand. Switching sides. Now this side is my tighter side, and you might experience this too, where my arm really wants to bend as I'm reaching overhead and around to the side. That's not wrong, but I am gonna work to straighten it as much as I can and get into the side bend of my body. Working in a kneeling position allows for a deeper stretch in the torso. Standing is a little less. Now we're gonna warm up the hands in weight bearing. Let's paw the earth. Pawing is just like it sounds. Move your hand in any orientation you can get it into. Don't be afraid to go onto the tops of the hands as well. I find that as an aerialist, I gotta spend a lot of time here to stretch out my finger flexors. See if you can do this pawing with straight arms. All right, how do you push? This is for pushing in plank or in quadruped. Find your hands in your handstand position, which is shoulder width apart, index fingers facing forward. As you press the floor away, you're being careful to keep your spine neutral. You notice that my elbow pits turn. That's because I'm imagining my hands on two pickle jars. And each time I press up, I'm spinning those pickle jars away from the center line. That rotation travels all the way up into my shoulder. And as I press up, you'll see that I'm checking, can my chin tuck my shoulders? Not tuck, but touch. That's a good thing. We want the shoulders up actually pretty close to the ears. We're adding to that push now, keeping the rotation of the elbows and rising up onto the knuckles. Try and maintain your body weight forward, keeping your shoulders right above the knuckles. Elbows stay straight, shoulder blades stay pushed out. I could check here as well to make sure that my chin can touch my shoulders at any time, to make sure that I'm not plugging them toward my back like an aerialist. I don't want to do that. I want to allow those shoulder blades to live a little higher for all of my handstand work. Adding on a little extra finger stretch to that push. If I lift up, holding my shoulder engagement and just rock, as long as there's no pain, this feels really good to me. Now we're going to do an active lat stretch. Holy cow. Reach those arms from child's pose as far out as you can and turn your palms toward each other. Imagine someone grabbing your hips and pulling you backward here. I'm going to press into my hands and lift my chest up off my thighs, but without sliding my hands backward. Really wrap the armpits toward the floor and lift your breastbone. Again, sending your weight back through the hips and your arms forward. From here, if I engage one arm down into the ground and lift the other, I'm getting a great engagement into hyperflexion. You'd see that I am really reaching long and lifting my arms for about 8 to 10 times a piece from my upper back. Really reach out and then up. Keep the arm so long. Now we go into one of the hardest things of this warm-up, the moving bird dog. Set up your quadruped, push up, externally rotate, you're spinning those pickle jars. Reach your opposite arm, opposite leg long. Curl into a ball, keeping your weight forward, and then reach back out. Do this 3 times each side. As you do so, you're checking in that your supporting shoulder stays pushed. So right now it's my left shoulder. I don't want to collapse, especially in the round position. Oh no. I want to really keep that push and keep that pickle jar spin. Also, as you switch sides, you got to think about keeping your weight forward. It is super tempting as you curl to shift your weight backward, but we're keeping those shoulders right above the knuckles with a push. Here I'll show you if I sit backward. It's way easier, but let's not do that. Easy is not what we're going for. I'm trying to get those muscles right under the ribs fired up in addition to your shoulders. Next we have a torso twist. Same idea, doing the little chin check there, making sure that my shoulder's in the right place. I want to think about reaching my opposite elbow down to my opposite wrist and then pressing up. As I press up, I push to the right here. I don't want to lean to the left, which is my supporting side. I'm really pressing myself open. You can see this from the front view. If I'm really pushing for my right arm, checking the chin there, I'm going to think about my body really opening and pressing to the left, not leaning to the right. You want to stay centered, so if you're using a mirror, check that you're staying centered here. As I push up, I feel that right shoulder blade retract and press my chest to the left. Let's do that lat stretch again. Reach those arms as far forward as you can go, palms toward each other, wrap the armpits toward the floor and lift the breastbone. Once again, keep the arms reaching long, not pinching the shoulder blades together, but keeping that wrap and lift of the breastbone inward. There should be a nice wide space between the shoulder blades on the back. Breathing is a good idea. Okay, you guys, almost done. The compression progression. The first few are gonna be really chill. I'm gonna line up my shoulders right over my knuckles, arms straight, and press up. I'm really lifting my ribs inward and making an elephant shape. As I do this, I also stretch my heels downward to get a nice little stretch. The most important part here is that my shoulders stay right over the knuckles. There's no rocking forward and backward in the shoulder girdle. Really sink the heels down and the sitting bones up. Push, push, push. Adding on, we're going to take this up onto the toes. That last little bit is really where the work is. As I press up to the toes, I'm going to keep my shoulders right over the knuckles. They don't shift forward and they don't shift back. But you can see that my thighs pull into my chest. Really try and breathe here. A big exhale as you go into that tight compression. Awesome job. Time to go take class.